had to learn from a very, very early age what it is to have a home and to rebuild a home over and over and over again. I think the most important thing is whenever you have a passion or a mission and a very, very strong why, you should go for it. I was waking up every day at 4:30. No matter what, Saturdays, Sundays, I don't remember having a weekend for at least a year and a half. I'll tell you that my most difficult project was for sure the Chelsea Barracks, because I didn't speak English, they didn't speak English or Portuguese, so it was a bit like, as if your world just crumbled. This was so well accepted by the tenants that for 1 year now, it has achieved the highest rents in the area. It was difficult, but it's feasible. And if I can do it, other people can do it.
Welcome back, Money Honeys, to another episode with me, your host, Rosalia on the Money Honey podcast. Now, today I have got a show for you that is something that I know lots of women experience. You know, that feeling of being stuck in a corporate job, in a full-time job, and you want to transition into your own thing, but then you've got a little one to take care of, and you're like, how do I do this safely? How do I actually take care of my child, not take, the kind of risks that could put us, in trouble? And it is hard to take that leap of faith, isn't it? To quit that full-time job and do it for yourself. So I've brought a money honey here with me today on the show, who's going to be tapping into her story and how she went through that transition and took that leap of faith, and she's here to tell the story. So it's obviously gone very well. So before we get into it, please remember, if you are new here, to subscribe. Now's the time to hit that subscribe button, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Tunes or YouTube. We created a YouTube channel so that you can see the faces and the video version as well. So if you're not listening on YouTube, please do check out the video versions of these episodes, because the whole point of me creating a video version of the podcast was because I wanted the faces of these talented women to truly shine and to be the faces and the voices of this industry. So we do have a YouTube channel. This time I'll also mention, before we bring on the guests, that we have a newsletter, Money Honey newsletter. Now, it's not just one of those junk mails that we send and spam you. We use it really wisely. The newsletter is there to just simply notify you of the episodes that are coming out weekly, but also, most importantly, to share with you, number one, any freebies or any resources that the guests want to share with their listeners. So that's really important. And we also share any events that are coming up. So again, go down to the notes section of the show notes and find the Money Honey newsletter subscription link. Make sure that you are subscribed and that you are a part of our community, because if we've got an event happening, you can be sure it's going to be bold and buzzing, and you don't want to miss it. So if you want to come to any of our Money Honey events and our women empowering events, please be sure to be subscribed. Now, as I promised, the star Money Honey for today's show is a lady that I just recently came across through a networking event. My friend here today with me is going to be Raquel Aparicio, who is the founder of Design, an interior architecture and design studio that helps property developers create high-performing homes through design-led strategies. So without further ado, because I want her to tell her story, here we have Raquel Aparicio.
Hi, Rosalia. It's so great to be here.
Thank you so much. It's so good to have you on the show. Raquel, we've only just recently met, so I'm really intrigued to learn more about your story. I barely know you, but thank you so much for applying to be on the show. That's another thing I wanted to mention. You came to us, you found it, and you said, I'd love to be on the show. And we love that. We know I approach people all the time, but if you're listening, you feel like you've got a great story to tell and you want to put yourself out there, be brave, reach out. I'm not scary. I don't think, Raquel.
No,
I'm not
scary.
Yeah, so come on in. Let us know that you'd like to be a part of the show. We're always welcoming people, or nominate someone that you would love to see on the shows. But for now, Raquel, It's your moment. It's all about you. Tell us, what do you do, and what's your story?
Yeah, so I run Mar Design, and Mar Design is an architecture and interior design studio for property developers and investors. And what we do is that we transform houses and spaces that people absolutely love, and at the same time make profit for our clients.
Love that. And how did you get into it, Raquel?
Well, I'm an architect as a background, as for many years now, almost 20, so I'm kind of showing my age now. But I always loved to design and create for making money. So when I qualified as an architect in Portugal, I moved to Macau, to China, and I worked many years in hospitality and gaming projects. And at that time, what they really loved was to create spaces that would generate more ROI for them. So even if they didn't have a budget, they would always be like, oh, I can find the budget to make this and this happen, because ultimately the user experience and my client will then be spending more. So that was kind of the ethos. And I always had that in mind. And when I moved to the UK, I was working for different studios and I loved what I did. I did a lot of prime and super prime, but there was always something that was missing. And just before COVID, I started attending networking events for property developers, and people started asking me, "How should I do this? How should I do that?" And I thought, well, maybe actually I can make this my mission, because when I was very little, my dad, he's an army officer, and I was four, and suddenly one day he we had to move from Portugal to China, and no one told me until we got to Hong Kong, and I was a bit like, hold on. And suddenly I left all this life behind that I knew for something that I didn't know. No one spoke my language. I didn't speak English. They didn't speak English or Portuguese. So it was a bit like, as if your world just crumbled. And I had to learn from a very, very early age what it is to have a home and to rebuild a home over and over and over again. And so that, with this commercial mind that I have together, to me, I think it's like a superpower, because you can really deliver places that speak to people, but at the same time, for the developers, can give them a lot of profit.
Yes, money, honey. That is your superpower. And I'm so happy that you said that out loud. So thank you. And I want to honor you and acknowledge you for that. So well done. I so resonate and relate to your Portugal to China story, because I didn't go as far, but I went from Italy to England and I was eight, and I could only speak Italian at the time. And I didn't understand English, but at the time, it was like immigration or people, international students in a primary school wasn't as common as it is today, right? So I would just remember sitting in a classroom and absolutely having no idea what everyone was talking about. And you're saying, you know what it means to build a home, right? But I know what it means to build a voice. So how I use my journey from having been 8 years old in a school in English, not understanding anything, therefore being stripped of my identity, not knowing how to speak, not knowing how to express myself, made me really understand the power of your unique voice and your identity through the power of voice. So I love that you got that inspiration from building a home, from having been stripped away from your original home. So that's beautiful. I love to hear that. So on that front, you went from Portugal to China to the UK. You have done prime, super prime. You've worked on Chelsea Barracks and the Four Seasons Hotel. You've had 20 years experience in this industry. What's been your favorite project?
My favorite project. Ooh, that's a difficult one. I'll tell you that my most difficult project was for sure the Chelsea Barracks, because it's a Trinity Square, so behind Tower Hill, and it's a grade two listed building, and it was I had never I was never involved in such a complicated project, because everything you did had to have some sort of approval because they started digging and there was like a Roman thing. So it's like, oh, stop, no one touches anything. And so we had to be really creative in delivering the project. And obviously, dealing with all the regulations, etc., that we have in the UK that are super strict, especially in buildings like this. But we were able to deliver the most beautiful hotel ever. So that was a really complicated one. I loved Chelsea Barracks because so we did two show homes at Chelsea Barracks, and the thing that I most loved was that we created a story for each of the properties, and it was all about a family, well, a fake family, let's call it. But we had everything. We had wedding photos, we had christening photos, we had like the whole collection of books and this and that created an identity. And the idea was that the potential buyer, when they stepped in, they'll be like, oh, I'm at home, this is home for me. Even though if they then afterwards they would buy the property and then just strip it out and start again, but that's that sense of home. So that was really cool because we detailed things so much to such a personal level that you really were almost replicating a life in those show flats. And yeah, so that was probably one of my two favorite projects. Then with Mar Design, so with Mar Design, my favorite project is Mar Walmersley, which is a 8 bed HMO in Manchester. And that sense of doing omelets without eggs, it was a bit like that because it was as all HMOs, it's very commercially driven. The budgets are very, very low, but we managed to create this most amazing artsy Soho house vibe, vibrant HMO. And what it did is was so well accepted by the tenants that for 1 year now, it has achieved the highest rents in the area, and people absolutely love the property. I think only now one of the tenants or two of the tenants are moving because they were relocated for work reasons. Otherwise, they would have stayed there. And for us, not only in terms of design but in terms of the commercial side of it, it was an all money out deal for the clients, which for them was like brilliant. But for us, it had a very special recognition because it has been nominated, no, finalist in different awards for design. So yeah, so I was like,
Amazing. I think that's when I
yeah,
met you. You
yes,
got the notification
yes.
about that.
Oh
Yeah,
my God,
yeah.
I felt so stupid on that day. I looked like, a little kid for Christmas, like a smile from here to here, going like, yes. And yeah,
Don't feel stupid about that and silly. No, that's, your hard work has paid off and that's beautiful.
yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely loved it. So, loved hearing about that. Congratulations again.
Well, thank you.
So do you prefer designing commercial or residential?
I love residential, but that's sad. I mean, if you're developing or designing like hotels at a bigger scale, it is very much commercial because you have the front of house areas, you do have the restaurants, the spa, and I love that. I love that too. But nowadays we're focusing more on the residential side because I really, really, to me, this mission of creating homes that impact people's lives, it's what I really want to do and what I really want to do better, bigger, and more with more purpose. So to me now, this is what really makes me happy every day.
I love that. Now, obviously, the intro that I gave and the juicy stuff was very much about, I'm sure, what many people can relate to, which is transitioning from corporate to running your own business, whether it's in architecture, ladies who are listening, or finance, or whatever the case may be. It is difficult in every industry, whether you are a full time hairdresser working for a national chain and then you have to go solo. We all understand what fears are faced with that and the excitement at the same time. But you had to also balance as a single mum, um, raising your daughter, I believe. So, can you tell me a little bit about what that felt like and the journey that you went through?
Well, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all, because when I decided, okay, I'm going to do this, this is my calling and this is what I'm going to do, I had to organize life really well so that I could make sure that financially I could support my daughter and everything else that goes around having a daughter. And and at the time it was just me. Now I have a team and I'm very grateful and lucky to have that. But at the time it was just me. So I had to, you know, um, bring that super, I don't want to call it superpower again, but super strength, inner strength, to do this, and thinking about the end goal and knowing that it was going to be painful for a while, but then it was going to be okay. So for example, until I built a pipeline of work that allowed me to substitute my effectively my salary to then go solo, I was waking up every day at 4:30, no matter what. Saturdays, Sundays, I don't remember having a weekend for at least a year and a half, and I had to do it. And then I would go to bed around 10:30, because I would do the work, I would have a job, and then I would do the work, and in the meantime cook, do all the school stuff, homework, blah blah blah, and then go to bed, really focus, like I really need to sleep, and then do it again. So it was difficult, but it's feasible. And if I can do it, other people can do it. That's the
Oh,
most
well, it
important thing.
sounds, I mean, yeah, it sounds pretty intense what you have to go through. Why or how did you stop yourself from giving up?
Focusing on the big picture and focusing on my why, in terms of, I know that if I'm doing this, I'm providing a better future for me, for my family, for my daughter. And that's what keeps me going every day. Even if sometimes I just want to go in the corner and cry, doesn't matter. I spend a little bit of time feeling the emotion and then going again. You have to do it. And to me, doing this is, you have to have a strong why to do it. And when I look at her, even now she's 14 almost, and she's on that grumpy teenager phase, which is not fun, challenging. I still love her very much, but sometimes I'm like, oh, but it's okay. Um, but it's knowing that everything is going to be okay. She's my why, and we move on. That's it.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, how long have you felt or been in this situation of, do you know what, we're going to be okay? Like from how you started to feeling that, okay, we're good. How long has that been?
To be honest, considering all the situation in terms of worldwide, with the COVID, with this, with that, and all the financial uncertainty, I haven't had a period where I think I'm like, everything is fine 100%. Because I think when you start your own thing, and this journey of being an entrepreneur, you always aim higher. So first it was just me, securing me. Then it's securing my team as well. Then it's securing the pipeline that supports the ecosystem of growing the business. So I can't say that I'm in a phase that I'm like, yes, everything is perfect, because I'm always thinking about the next thing that will grow the business and putting myself in a bit like out of my comfort zone, because
Yes,
I want it to
yes.
be better.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you enter that comfort zone, that's the danger zone because if you stay there, you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not developing. So, yeah, there is never a time where you're right. You know, the question was like almost like a trick question because there isn't a time where you feel like, and it's done and let's relax. You know, it isn't done. It's just not done.
No.
And that's why we have to enjoy the journey and enjoy your job and what you do because there isn't an end to it until you die. Like literally,
Yeah.
that's the
I mean,
end.
to be honest, even if I got to a point where I thought, okay, my design is done, I don't want to do anything else, I think I would be thinking already on the next, business idea
Project
that I
or
could,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
develop. And I think the most important thing, or one of the most important things, is to surround yourself with like a really good group of people. And that was why, for example, when we met at that networking event, I am seeking for these people that are going to be like my grounding people. Like, I know I have to go there every month, and every month that I'm there surrounded with these beautiful, powerful women, I feel more energized and I'm like, yes, that's it. So let's go again.
Yeah, I feel you on this because I had to scale back a bit of some events because of like just some family stuff, and then took a bit of time out, and I noticed that I know I needed to give myself that time and the bereavement. I needed to grieve it, and I needed that space. But the less I was doing, the less I wanted to do, and the less I wanted to do, the less creative I felt, and the less
Yeah.
energized I felt, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sinking into this spot. Like, yes, I want to grieve and I want to honor my grandmother and everything, but I I'm still alive and I have to get out of this funk. And if I don't push myself, so in fact, when we met, um, I technically wasn't supposed to be there. I was only there because obviously Kim is my work wife, and she's everything to me, and that was her launch, and I wanted to support her on her launch, but I was also working on the night because I was filming the content. But I was literally a shell, like I was just there in body. And I don't know, maybe you didn't notice because my kind of energy at 40% feels like 160 to some people. But yeah, that day we met, that was the one and only event I'd been going to that I went to for like 2 months because I was in a grieving stage and I just didn't want to be out. But it's funny how somehow you still felt a positive energy enough to want to connect. So that's nice.
Yeah, of course, of course. I think there's something about you. You have this, as you were saying, the 160%. There's something about you that you automatically, it's like a magnet almost. And you're like,
Oh,
okay,
good,
yeah,
good,
on a
good.
very
I'm
positive
glad.
way.
Yeah, in a good. Yeah, yeah. Because I always say, um I've got to be careful not to attract, I want to attract the bees. I want to attract the buzzing bees, not the flies. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
attract, it's about bees. So and I try and give off that energy as well. So yeah, I'm glad you're here. So Raquel, what in your portfolio and in your list of achievements have you not yet ticked off the list? What's something you would really love to do and something you would really love to work on that you still haven't been able
Mm,
to
I
grasp?
would love with Mara Design to be able, this was always kind of, not even with Mara Design, it was always like a dream ever since uni times. Don't ask me why, but I think it was because of the time that I spent living in China. I always loved how resorts function. So I would love to be able to have the opportunity to design a resort or
Hmm.
a hotel, for example, in like a safari area with the animals. That was something that I always like. It's on my list of things to do, and something completely unrelated to design.
Yes.
Um, Completely unrelated.
No, I like this. Yes.
Yeah. So I have two big passions in life, which is one, I love golden retrievers and I try to rescue golden retrievers always. So I would love to, when I go back to Portugal and retire, to kind of create a sanctuary to recover golden retrievers specifically, to give them to
Oh.
beautiful families. So yeah, we're on golden retriever number 3 and we love her. Um, and the other thing that I would like to do and get better is perfect my salsa dancing.
Oh, I do salsa. We can go
Do
together.
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. Yeah, I'm a
Oh,
salsa dancer and I do I've done Latin and ballroom for years.
amazing.
It's been a while, because I was going pre-COVID regularly to a lot of salsa, and then post-COVID, some of those classes kind of disappeared, and then they are far away. So anyway, I do need to get back to it because I really want to dance again. I want to do salsa, bachata.
Oh, love
Those
it.
are Yeah. Where are you based, Raquel?
I am in Weybridge, but I go to London mainly. I
Yeah,
can send you
that's
an
where they
event.
are.
Not this Saturday, next Saturday, we are going to be there.
What, you're going to salsa?
Of course. I do
Where?
salsa. I try to, unless something is wrong, I try to dance salsa and bachata at least once a week because
Oh,
it's
where
the
do you
way
do
how
it?
check Mambo City. It's in South Kensington.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it. Um,
Amazing.
that's really far for me. I think that
Where are
might
you
be a little bit
based?
too far. Well, I'm not in London at all. I'm in Hertfordshire.
Oh,
Um, but to get to South Kensington might be a bit far.
I
But
I
we'll
can
find
ask.
something.
I
Yeah,
can
we'll
ask
find.
and send you.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I need to. I know there's one in like Charing Cross. There was one at Temple South, so that's been shut down. That's
Yes.
gone. So I need to get back into it. But yeah, love that. So dancing, the Golden Retriever retreat or like a sanctuary and rescue center. That's really really beautiful. Okay, so look, as a final message, then, what would you like to say to the money honeys who are listening? What would you like them to take away from your story and a highlight from your journey?
I think the most important thing is whenever you have a passion or a mission and a very, very strong why, you should go for it because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you happy. And if I was able to do this, many other women are able to do it too. So it's just a matter of finding or creating a plan to get to your end goal and surrounding yourself with the right people that will help you to get there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Raquel. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. We're going to include all your, social media channels on the show notes. And for everyone who's tuned in, I really hope you got a bump of inspiration from Raquel today, who has had a phenomenal career, phenomenal journey, has embraced every bump along the road. So I really do hope that this has given you some inspiration for the end of your week. Be sure to check into our episode next week, and even catch up on some previous episodes if you are new here. So thank you so much. I'm Rosalia, and thank you again to Raquel.
Thank you so much, Rosalia.